order or go back there ever. I had everything in my refrigerator, and it's just like, first of all, I know the fast food is very, very bad. We rarely eat it, but when we're getting out late, it was just like a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So I don't want people to go through that because it's not a good feeling. And so, rewinding to when I found superfoods, um, that was the hardest time of my life. My daughter was removed from me for reporting abuse for 39 days. I could not eat, I could not sleep, and I didn't know how to function. And I knew I needed to fight a very hard battle. And thank God, Cami came to my studio through one of my healthy friends, and this is what got me through it. I mean, this gave the superfoods gave me everything. And since then, I've done tons of detoxes, hairs and nails. Me and Cami and I we got, oh, what's it called? The heavy metal detox. There's a food for focus. Basically, if there's an ailment for it, there's a food medicine for it. So today is just all about empowering us and reminding just taking our health into our own hands. The glyphosate that's in the air, the water, the soil, there's a way to protect ourselves. There's always hope. And when we don't feel good, it's hard to function and it's easy to fall into depression and low vibrations. And this is um, this is a really easy and a good way to keep those vibes up. So I'm all about it, and I'm really grateful you guys are here. I don't want anybody to waste money and time on the junk and the poisons that we're surrounded by in the grocery stores or at the drive-throughs. So this is not a diet. It tastes delicious. I eat this medicine with my food if I want, if I'm hungry, or I take it on the go and I'm good to go. So it's available and we're here for you guys as your health coaches. Any questions, any way to make it affordable, and especially for our children to get them used to nurturing their bodies. And so, cheers. I'll pass it on to Cami, but I guess that's what I have to say for right now.
Thank you, Maura, so much. And so Maura really touched on a lot of things that are common to all of us, right? Brain fog, getting fast food that is not satisfactory, and wasting our money on that. And so what we're here today to talk about is something different and something new, but something that really gives our bodies what they need to be able to do their job, because our bodies are wonderfully made. They're made to handle a lot. They're made to detox themselves, but they need the right tools. And these days we just aren't getting those tools from our food the way that we should. So Purium is a company that's been around for about 30 years, and they've always focused on organic whole foods. Even before there was an organic, they were doing organic and they were bringing that to the people. And the owners, Dave and Amy, they're very committed to that, which is why you actually can't find their products in stores, because they want to make sure that they have control of things. And they'd rather put the money that it would take to go into a store out into the world to further the superfoods getting to people, which is what More is also doing and partnering with them. So we're going to talk about a couple different things today, but I want to start with the basics. So I started with Purium almost 4 years ago, and I was definitely having brain fog. My emotions were all over the place. My hormones were crazy. My husband's very grateful that I found Purium and that my hormones and mood have balanced out. But I had a friend who was very health conscious. She had a lot of health issues. She had to be very careful about what she put in her body. And she said that she was going to do this to help reset her gut health. And what I've since learned is that our gut health, that's where it all starts. We really want to take care of our gut health so that the rest of us can function well. So I started, and I didn't realize it wasn't a diet. I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this for a month and jumpstart my health back. And then, I'll be able to make better choices. And about a week in, I was like, oh no, I am never going without this in my life, because I felt so much better. And that's the difference between when you're getting something that's grown in the right soil, that's grown in the right way, versus things that are conventionally grown today. It makes a big difference in the amount of nutrients that we're getting. And those nutrients actually go down to our very cells and help our cells to function the way that they should, help our functions to build it the way that they should, and repair the way they should. So what we're talking about and where we start, Maura mentioned a few different things that we have, like a heavy metal detox and hair, skin, and nails. But we really like to start everyone at one point so we can build a foundation of health. And that foundation of health then gives us a strong starting point so we can build on top of that. So that foundation that we start with is called the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you could see what this is. And this is focusing on getting us our macro and our micronutrients, the things that our body needs to function. So like Maura was talking about how her therapist is telling her she needs to eat more. This is a really good way to start because you're making sure that what you're eating is giving your body the nutrition that it needs. So what we start with here is built to address some of the major things we're facing. One is not getting enough nutrients, enough phytonutrients, which are the things that our cells use to do their job. And so we do this with the nourish aspect, which is the power shake. Now, this is your healthy fats and your greens. And that's really important. Maura was talking about how our brains need nutrition to function. Our brains need fat to function. They need the right fats to help them do their job. And so the power shake really focuses in on that. In fact, each serving, nutritionally speaking, is equal to having 6 large microgreen salads. You're flooding your body with nutrition, and that's why you see such a huge change so quickly. Then in addition to that, these 3 components right here in the middle, these are what can be a meal or what you can do in addition to meals. It is a full meal replacement if you want it to be, but it's very low on calories. So you also might want to add some stuff to it or eat it in addition to a meal. But this second component right here is called Build the Super Amino 23. And this is where you're getting really high quality protein. So normally when we're taking in protein like chicken or fish or meat, our body only digests so much of it and absorbs it. The rest of it gets eliminated as waste. But with this super amino 23, you're getting 99% of what you're taking in because it's already broken down to the amino acids. What that means is it's not taxing your system. Your body's not having to work hard to break that down and expend the energy over there. So now it can use its energy for other things like restoring and repairing and rebuilding. Additionally, when you take those in, your body's able to use that protein in 23 minutes. So this was actually created by a doctor for his immobile patients. My video's all lagging over here. Am I okay, you guys? Is it breaking up at all?
We can see the photo, but
Okay,
not your
can you hear
mouth.
me okay?
I could hear you.
Okay. Okay,
I,
perfect.
I see it.
Okay, perfect. So this was created by a doctor for his immobile patients so that they wouldn't lose their muscle mass while they were mobile. So their recovery time would be a lot faster because they're still building muscle. So it's there's tons of studies on this as well. And it's used in hospitals still. The biomedic is another really important point. So Maura touched on it earlier. She mentioned glyphosate. And if you haven't heard of that, what that is a chemical that's in the pesticide Roundup. And it's used everywhere, or the herbicide, I think it's herbicide Roundup. It's used everywhere, and it's in the air and it's in the water, but it's messing up a lot of stuff for us. It is linked to cancer, it's linked to autoimmune conditions, it's linked to Alzheimer's, ADHD, so many different things. And it crosses the blood-brain barrier. It's impacting us in so many ways. But they've done a clinical trial on biomedic, and they've shown that in 6 weeks, it reduces those glyphosate levels in our system by 74%. And it also lowers an inflammation biomarker called C-reactive protein by 75%. So that's huge for us because where there's inflammation, there is going to be disease. We are going to have issues. We want to bring that inflammation down and feel better. So those three things you'll do twice a day for the first 90 days. Because you really want to build that strong foundation. You really want to get in there and build habits where you're getting used to it. Maura was talking before we started the recording about how if she misses it, she notices, right? She notices her body's like, thank you so much. Because when you're hyper nourishing like that, you feel refreshed right away. So those you do twice a day. Once a day, you do the apothecary. Now, this might be everybody's favorite that they start with because they feel it right away. This helps you get a deep, restful sleep. Because when we're sleeping well, our body is restoring, it's repairing, it's taking care of the things that we went through during the day. And this is just one ingredient. It's 100% organic Montmorency tart cherries. And what this does is has natural melatonin. It works with your circadian rhythm. So it just helps you get into that deep sleep where you're restoring and repairing. Those four things you do every day. The super cleansar is special. The super cleansar you only do for 10 days the first month and 10 days the second month. And more is right there with you to help remember when to do all this stuff. But the super cleansar goes in and it's a colon cleanse, but it's also a parasite cleanse. We all have parasites. It's just a part of life. But parasites can cause a lot of health issues for us. There's a lot of disruption in there. And so what this does is it gets the mature parasites the first month, but they've left eggs behind. So the second month it goes in and gets those once they've hatched, but before they lay their own eggs. So it's kind of gross for us, but that's the process. But this takes care of it. So it addresses all those things. And like I said, once you have that foundation of health, that's when you can then go on and address some other things. But of course, we talk to everybody one-on-one so we can give you that personal attention and make sure this is going to be the right place to start, or if you need some additional things right away. So that's really the program and the things that people are helping with. It's funny, Maura was saying somebody was asking, would it help with a certain condition? And the answer is yes, because nutrition is the element that's missing from our health. Nutrition is what gives the body what it needs to repair. So it's funny, most of the times if you take a condition and you Google nutrition and kidney health, what's it going to tell you? For your kidney health, what do you need? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, whole foods. And that's what this is. But it's so much more powerful because of the way it's grown. And the reason that the company grows things the way that they do, so we are the manufacturer. There's a lot of companies out there that might buy their powders and things from one place, and then they put their label on it, and then they send it out into the world, and that's not us. We're the manufacturer. So we have the farms, or we work directly with the farms to grow the things. They come in, they're tested at least 6 times to make sure they're what they're supposed to be. And if they don't pass those tests, they don't send them out. They've actually canceled entire products where they couldn't continue to source the ingredients, like work with the farms at the quality that they wanted. They just said, no, we're not going to make those anymore. And the reason they do that is because Purium is dedicated. The owners are dedicated to quality. They're dedicated to your health, and they're dedicated to really bringing this type of approach to the world in a bigger place. And that's where Maura comes in with what she's doing for her business and establishing this and reestablishing, relaunching her business, is because what we do is we have something that I like to call a health forward economy. Today, we live in a world where really our health takes a back seat to money, because the more money you can make and the cheaper you can make things, the better that is for money. But that's not always what's good for our health, right? I think Maura illustrated that with the story she was telling us about fast food. We know the medical industry. There's so many different ways they're getting money from us, and we're still suffering. We had a story kind of about that a little bit before we started the recording. But what we want to do is build people up, empower them to go out there. And so what we have, like I said, I call it the health forward economy. But I'm going to share this screen here because it really talks about the owners being committed to this Purium economy, to where we're putting health first and where we're putting that money into people's lives to empower them. And so what we do is, if you decide, hey, you know what, in addition to my own health journey, I want to help other people on theirs. I want to help them feel better. What you can do is when you enroll with that ultimate lifestyle transformation for your own health, you can opt into having the business for free. and then bringing that to other people. And it's really beautiful because one, you get to be a part of this wonderful community. I didn't realize how much this community would impact my own personal health journey and help me stay strong and really make it a lifestyle. But in addition to that, you get all the support you need to help other people, to help yourself and help other people. Some people come from different health and wellness companies and they join us and they are beyond impressed at the community and the support that we give because no one is ever doing things on their own. But of course, first and foremost, importance to us is you building your own health, right? And taking those steps. So that's what we do. We bring in that ultimate lifestyle transformation, and then we're able to help others. And I don't have any other testimonials or stories ready and lined up to share, but I'm going to share some of the ones from my own life. So when I started this, my parents started at the same time as me, and my mom was diagnosed with diabetes a long time ago. And very important for diabetes is the nutrition you're taking in, right? So she started with this, and she would take her fasting blood sugars at home, and her fasting blood sugar before she started was very high. It was in the it was in the low 400s when she started, which for blood sugar is really, really concerning. And she was not living, she was existing. But as soon as she started, because she was taking that nutrition in, which enabled her body to do what it needed to do, her fasting blood sugar came down to the low 100s. And in 3 months, when she went to her endocrinologist, her A1C had gone from very high to a pre-diabetic range. And her endocrinologist looked at her and said, "You don't need me anymore. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing." And we've had similar stories with people who have all kinds of conditions because this is not a health condition specific. This is just the basic nutrition that your body needs in order to do what it's supposed to do. And we know we don't live in a perfect world. So, of course, it's not going to heal, it's not going to cure, but it's going to give your body the tools, really, really good tools to be able to combat all the things that it's facing on a daily basis. So, we're just so happy that you guys joined us today and that you learned a little bit. But I want to encourage you, if you're watching the recording or if you're here with us live, please reach out to Maura and we can schedule a time to meet with you one-on-one. It can be real short, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, where we can kind of see what things you're addressing and how Purium would be able to help with that. And also, if you are interested in joining us in our community and helping other people, really getting health out there to be present in a way that's wonderful and that's completely based on food and what we were given to make our bodies strong, please let Maura know because we'd love to have you join our community because not only does that help your health, but it really does make a huge financial impact into your own life. So I'm going to stop the recording now. And if there are any questions, then we have a couple minutes for those. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember to reach out to Maura with anything personal and specific so we can meet with you.